You're listening to the Solano Paranormal Podcast, where the unknown meets investigation. From haunted locations to unexplained encounters, we dive deep into the mysteries that surround us. With your host, Mitch McLean, get ready to explore the truth beyond the veil.
Good evening, everybody. I am Mitch McLean, and I am here with Roman for tonight's adventures into the paranormal world and the Solano Paranormal Podcast. So welcome back to the Solano Paranormal Podcast, everybody. I am your host, Mitch McLean, and tonight we are descending into the unknown, into a place humanity has always feared, respected, and mythologized. The world beneath our feet. This episode is called The Spirits Below. All right, Roman, you ready for this one, my friend?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do it. Now, for as long as we've been told stories, cultures across the globe have imagined spirits, gods, and monsters dwelling underground. Now, whether it's underworld of ancient myth, the haunted mines of ghost towns, or even modern accounts of strange voices echoing up from the caves, the idea that something lurks below us is as old as time itself. All right, so we're going to talk about cave dwellers, stuff that live below us. Like, there's lots of theories. I mean, there's theories that there's actually races of creatures that live below the earth and the earth's crust and stuff like that, below the crust and the center of the earth. There's all sorts of theories. There's things living underground, not just supernatural, but biological entities. You know, that have maybe been exposed to radiation and they've
just adapted to it.
Yeah, and they've adapted to it, or they've changed because of the radiation. I'm trying to think of that big word. I'm trying to think of it when stuff changes.
Evolution?
Stuff changes because of radiation. But anyway, yeah. So, and then you've got the cave dwellers. You've got the like spirits that live below in the caves and stuff like that. And you've got different cultures that believe in stuff like that. We talked about spirit walkers, and Native American culture, skinwalkers, and how they dwell in caves and underground until they're summoned or asked to perform a task.
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of stuff like that. All right. So segment 1, ancient beliefs in the underworld. In ancient Greece, the land of the dead was ruled by Hades. And to get there, souls crossed the river Styx, ferried by the mysterious boatman Charon. The Romans shared a similar vision, blending fear with reverence. But it wasn't just Greece and Rome. The ancient Egyptians believed in Duat, an underworld realm where the soul was judged by Osiris. The Norse imagined Helheim, a frozen place where some spirits dwelled after death. And in Mesoamerican cultures like the Maya, there was Xibalba, a terrifying underworld filled with trials and tricksters. Now, each story shares one haunting truth. What lies beneath us was never seen as empty. It was sacred, dangerous, and inhabited by something beyond human comprehension.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to talk about ancient belief worlds. So let's talk about ancient Greece to begin with, and the land of the dead was ruled by Hades. Now, what do we know? Does anybody here know anything about the...
Not really.
No, I'm the same. I'm the same. I don't know a whole bunch about the ancient Greece myths. Or I know from some movies and stuff like that that depict ancient Greece and the gods and Hades and the underworld and stuff like that. But I'm not my wife is actually very knowledgeable on that stuff. But myself, I don't have a lot of knowledge on it. But it's just interesting that these kind of ideas of underground dwellers, underground beings exist across cultures, across time.
Yeah.
You know, there's been so many accounts of strange beings underground, whether it be ghosts underground, spirits, voices, footsteps, echoes of the past, stuff like that. All the way back in memorable history, all the way back to ancient Greece and Rome, where they had these belief systems about those that lived in the underworld.
Didn't they have the Minotaur living in the
underworld?
Yeah,
I don't know if the Minotaur lived in the underworld.
Well, he was in the labyrinth, though, right?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. You're asking me something I actually don't know. Yeah, I'm not big on the ancient
mythology
and mythology stuff like Greece and Rome. But the idea, remember, to get there, your souls crossed the river Styx, ferried by the mysterious boatman Charon. Now, remember the boatman story, because that's where the idea that you had to put, when you died, to put a couple of silver coins on your eyes to pay the ferryman.
Yeah. And that's the picture of it, right? I mean, he carries you across the sea to the
to the land of the dead. Yeah. And before that, I believe in ancient Greece, I think it's ancient Greece culture. I could be wrong. They have the balancing of the scales, the feather.
It's Egyptian, yeah.
Is that Egyptian?
Yeah, for the duat, I think.
That's the duat?
Yeah. I think he measures your scales.
He measures your deeds on earth.
Yeah.
Against the weight of a feather.
Right.
And if your good deeds outweigh
the feather, that is.
Then you pass the trial.
I kind of saw that in Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. And where else? So the Romans shared a similar vision, blending fear with reverence.
Yeah.
So the Romans, you can understand them. They based everything on fear.
Yeah.
So you can understand them basing their afterlife on fear as well, to a certain degree. The Romans ruled by fear. They ruled by force, terror, fear.
Yeah.
All,
control, yeah.
You know, I mean, and they ruled without any kind of
filter.
Any kind of whatever. They just were ruthless, absolutely ruthless to the people they ruled.
Yeah.
All right. So, like you said, each story shares one haunting truth. What lies beneath us was never seen as empty. It was sacred, dangerous, and inhabited by something beyond human comprehension. So, I mean, let's talk about the kind of cave systems that you get around the world, and people that have. There's a lot of these ghost hunting shows that have done adventures and ghost hunts, and cave systems, especially things like old coal mines.
Yeah.
Where there's maybe been collapses and people have died,
got trapped
and died, suffocated and stuff like that.
Exposed to the gas, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's you can imagine the terror after a cave-in and a coal mine or something like that, and you're trapped and you know you're not getting out.
And there's no light.
There's no light. It's pitch black. You're breathing. You're using all the oxygen every second. You know you're a second closer to death.
That's scary, yeah.
And you know you can slowly feel it.
Yeah.
You slowly feel your energy going. You know your breathing's getting shallower. You know you're not getting oxygen, and before you know it, you pass out from asphyxia.
Yeah.
And you're gone.
That's insane.
No, so you can imagine the terror these people felt prior to that.
Yeah,
and that's got to be absorbed by its surroundings, by its environment, all that energy.
Leave us timestamp almost, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's where we talk about residual hauntings, because those types of energies are absorbed by the environment, by the structure surrounding it.
The time.
And, that's a residual haunting. That's something that's part of the stone tape theory, where strong emotions can be recorded onto stone or wood or like recorded into the fabric of a building. And every so often when the environmental settings are just right, it replays like a video recorder. It replays that event and people see it if they're lucky.
Yeah.
And those aren't intelligent hauntings like we talk about where you can get actual response. Those are just residual hauntings. No less...
A playback.
Yeah, a playback. No less demanding our attention and no less important than an intelligent response. But a residual haunting, we can replay the past and we can see, like that video replay almost of a past event, the emotion of it, or feel the emotion of it. And it's really interesting. There was a case in Scotland where there was an old castle, and they videoed a legion of soldiers marching through the castle. And they reckon that was a recording of these soldiers all dressed up, ready to go to battle, and the emotions of all of them, because you can imagine how scared people were. It's not like the movies in the old days where, because you think about what war was like back then. It wasn't like guns, like bang, you're dead, bang, you're dead.
There was no real strategy.
It was hammers and mallets and
just
axes and swords and daggers, and you were ripping bodies apart, cutting heads off, cutting limbs off. It was ruthless. It was barbaric.
Yeah, exactly.
So you imagine you're going into war, the fear and all the emotion you're going to be feeling back in those days.
To make it alive.
So that, to me, would definitely be recorded in the environment and play back from time to time if the environmental features are just right,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But, yeah.
It's a stain in the fabric of time.
Absolutely. So we've got the cave dwellers and stuff. Let's talk about the Indian culture, the Native American culture again when we talk about skinwalkers and spirit walkers. They were very much believed to dwell in caves and underground.
They also have some documentation about catching giants too, right, into the caves.
Really?
Yeah. And they were considered the I forgot the word for it.
Are you talking about the Nephilim?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And supposedly there was a couple that they trapped in the cave, and they tried to set the entrance on fire so they can kill the being inside.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And for those that are watching that don't know what the Nephilim are, basically there's the idea from the Bible. People take excerpts from the Old Testament and they use it. There's basically there's supposed to be a race of fallen angels that came to Earth millennia ago, and they bred with human females, and they created a race of giants called the Nephilim.
Yep.
And God was very angry. God was so angry at them that he wiped them out.
Yeah, he caused the flood.
He caused the flood.
Yeah.
The great flood, and wiped them out.
Yeah.
And cleansed the earth.
And he wasn't trying to, because people think that the flood was to kill everyone. He was actually, everyone was so stained with evil that the only people that he found that was clean was Noah and
his wife and family.
Yeah. So everything he tried to wipe out it had a part of the Nephilim in them.
Yeah.
The world was evil. The world was bad.
Yeah, that's what they reckon. The world was a horrible place. It was just like the city of, trying to think of the biblical story, the one
Sodom. I mean, what is it?
Sodom and
Gomorrah.
The city of Gomorrah.
Yeah. That's a cool,
where it was so besieged with sin and evil that God decided to flatten it, and he told Solomon and his wife to leave and not to turn around and look back. But his wife turned around and looked back and was turned to a pillar of salt.
Hey, there's a video that shows actually a place that looks like the place that happened to. There's actually a pillar of salt that they say could have been his wife. You look it up. I forgot who the guy is, but it's very, very cool because in that area, because it's just sand and right. I mean, it's just desert.
Yeah,
you can see molten areas where something super hot created that. That leftover. But it's a cool story. So, it's not underground.
No, absolutely, but still a cool story. I mean, let's just talk about it. I mean, it's just everybody seems to have an experience or some sort of story or some sort of legend that they've heard about people living underground.
Yeah, well, the thing is also is the people are buried underground, so you know, thoughts are they're gonna be haunting the underground, especially if there's passages or crevices that they can go through. I mean, there's so many stories about lava men, creatures that like you said, that exist down there. It's who knows.
Who knows? I mean, by just talking on the biological side of things and out of the paranormal realm for a second, like I said, there's so many possibilities where people think there's mutant races that live underground.
I mean, you can even say Bigfoot could be hiding underground. I mean, right?
I mean, who knows? Bigfoot lives in cave systems. They know their environment. They know where all the cave systems are. They know where to hide and how to hide and stuff.
And there's always caves.
And that could be one of the reasons why you would never find the remains of like cryptids. Because maybe they're cave dwellers deep in caves, and like dogs naturally in the wild will go away when they're going to die. Dogs know when they're going to die, and they tend to try and go away and go find somewhere quiet and go and die.
So they don't get But what about elephants? They go into a grave.
And they go to the elephant graveyard and die. And stuff. They know they're going to die, and they walk their happy tushies into the elephant graveyard and lay themselves down and die.
So who's to say that the
cryptids like the Bigfoots and stuff don't just do that as well? They understand their life cycle is over,
and
they go to the cave system and lay down and die, and that's why we don't find remains scattered around the forest.
That makes more sense than anything else.
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of the more logical ideas. I mean, it would definitely explain why, because Bigfoot hunters have often questioned, well, why don't we find the remains of a Bigfoot? Why have we never found the remains? If they exist and they're in the numbers that we think they exist, then we should find a body sometime.
No, that would be a fact.
But if they're cave dwellers and they have this instinct in them that they know when their life cycle's over and they know when to go back to their cave to lay down and die, just like elephants would do in the elephant graveyard, then that would make perfect sense.
And obviously the siblings or whatever they are, family wise, they'll carry the dead to the caves.
Yeah,
You know,
and
just
that could
to,
be that as
yeah,
well, where the family, of these cryptids, whatever, they'd carry
yeah,
their dead body, back to the caves,
to the
back to
proper
their
burial. Yeah,
cemeteries, to their
yeah,
proper
yeah,
burial
yeah,
grounds.
yeah.
And
That
those
makes
could be
sense.
all hundreds and hundreds of feet underground.
And one day we might find it.
Yeah,
Who
that's
knows?
the thing. You
Yeah.
go digging just in the right place and you find something. I mean, it happens all the time. People find gold
Yeah, that
and
would be amazing.
different
Though.
things in
Yeah,
farmers' fields all over the world.
yeah.
One minute a farmer's out digging his field for corn, ready to plant his corn or his wheat or whatever. And he digs up a whole bunch of Roman treasure or old treasure or stuff like that. And
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe people do go into these caves, but there's like booby traps or things that'll just collapse, so they can't be discovered and brought out.
Yeah.
I mean,
you never know. I mean,
yeah.
you don't know the intelligence level of what potential things.
Well, I
like
think they're pretty
Bigfoot.
high to be hiding and being able to stay away from the human,
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's just a question of how much of that is like instinct
yeah.
and how much of it is
Oh yeah,
intelligence.
True.
Like dogs or wild animals out in the wild, they know to stay away from humans because instinct tells them to stay away from humans and
From
stuff.
scent to
And not to go in certain areas because they'll get caught or trapped.
Yeah.
Maybe a Bigfoot operates just on instinct, like any other animal. But if they're a Bigfoot, an ape-like creature, that alone would suggest some level of intelligence.
There was also a thing on about the Bigfoot being able to feel the vibration of people. That if you were a psychic, you could actually reach out to a Bigfoot.
Oh, really?
There was a documentary about it, and that was kind of cool.
Oh, okay.
But who knows?
No, exactly. Who knows?
Yeah.
I would love to do an investigation in like a old abandoned coal mine or something.
Yeah.
Because all of that heightens the sense of fear in the investigators doing the investigation because you're getting down, you're putting yourself in a dangerous position. You're going down these coal mines to do an investigation.
It could collapse.
And it could collapse again. You don't know. It's been years sometimes decades since these mines have been used.
Yeah, for sure.
So to get access to some of these mines, and I know some of these mines do open up to some ghost hunting groups because I've seen some of the paranormal groups on TV do them at some of these locations. Whether they only open them up for the TV shows where they give it the big money, or they're like things like Nevada State Prison where they actually allow regular everyday paranormal groups come in and do investigations. You just pay a small fee and then they let you come in and do an investigation. So I don't know what it's like. That would be something we'd need to do some research on. If there's anybody watching and they know anything about this kind of stuff, like hit us up. Go to solanoparanormal.com, sign up for your free account and send us a message. Let us know what you think. And if you've got abandoned cave systems near where you live, old abandoned mines, anything like that, then get in touch with us. Let us know. We'd love to come investigate.
For sure.
Absolutely. But like we were talking about, this is a cross-cultural belief.
Yeah.
That there's things underground. And like the shadow people we were talking about last week or the week before, it's hard to rule them out because they are cross-cultural.
Yeah.
They call them different things in different cultures. Like the shadow people, like we talked about getting called jinn.
Yeah.
Different names throughout different cultures. Could it be the same thing here?
Yeah. It has to be, right? I mean, just because it has a different mask doesn't mean it's a different thing.
Right.
I mean,
absolutely. So I don't know. It's interesting. I remember, I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was the movie about the mutants in Nevada or something, who had been destroyed, been mutated by a nuclear war.
The Hills Got Eyes.
the House of Eyes. Yeah. That was a freaky movie.
That's an insane
I haven't
movie.
seen that for a while.
Not want to be there. those people.
But you imagine how mutated they've depicted those people in the movie.
That
and
can
stuff
actually
like
happen, though.
that could happen
Yeah.
because there's areas
And
in
they're
the
cannibals.
US where they actually do detonate underground nuclear
Yeah.
explosions to test them.
You can
They
actually see
have
some
nuclear
places.
tests, like Christmas Island is a nuclear test island,
Jeez.
and they frequently detonate nuclear explosions when they're testing new weapons and
That's
stuff like that.
insane, man.
So who's to say that there wasn't people
Yeah.
living there or exposed around the surrounding areas to the radiation and they mutated over generations?
Well, you'll always see like abandoned cars on the desert, right? I mean, there's like a
Yeah.
whole junkyard full of questionable cars. Why is it there? Is it?
Yeah, where did
you
the
know?
people go when they
Yeah.
abandoned the car?
Is
Did
it-
they
Yeah, the
just
hill
walk
got
off into
eyes,
the
man.
desert? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
did they go? Like you said, the hills of eyes.
No,
Oh
thanks.
my God. All right. Roman.
Yeah.
You want to take segment 2, buddy?
Sure. Haunting caves and tunnel. Fast forward to modern times, and the stories continue. Cave tunnels and mines are some of the most notorious haunted places on Earth. Take the Paris catacombs. 6 million souls entered beneath the street of France capital. People report shadow darting between the bones, whispers in the darkness, and even full-bodied apparitions. Or the Mammoth Cave system in Kentucky, the largest cave network in the world. Tourists and guides alike have claimed to hear footsteps, laughter, and voices where no one is present. Some even report being touched in the dark. Closer to home, abandoned mining tunnels in Nevada and California echoes with stories of miners who never made it out alive. Each restless spirit said to still wander below ground, swinging lanterns that flicker and vanish when approached. We just covered that. And that
we're just talking about some of that stuff as well. Now, I know the Paris catacombs are very interesting. Like they say, they have 6 million people interred below the ground,
Oh no,
below the streets.
That's insane. I mean, that's
6 million
that's
people.
yeah, that's actually real. I mean,
Yeah.
that's they've got skulls, right?
Yeah.
Stacked to one another, and
Yeah.
and it's a hallway that you go through and you see these things.
Yeah, but the catacombs, it's
That's
crazy.
That's waiting for some.
Yeah, I mean, those places. I mean, if hauntings are real, I mean, there's got to be hauntings in places like that.
But unfortunately, people live down there, right? They got dwellers down there.
I don't know.
There are stories of people who live there. So it's so many paths and so many rooms that homeless people go down there and live.
Oh wow!
Yeah. No. There is a story about that, and that's even scarier because who knows what they've become with all that.
Exactly. Who knows what they've been exposed to?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's evil in there.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, where there's good, there's surely evil somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you got a body that's not. I mean, if skeletal bones that are just laid to be looked at, not laid to rest.
Right.
That's
they're
kind
not
of,
exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of
exactly. I mean, I know you're dead, but I wonder, like, would your spirit be restless if your bones weren't interred properly? If they were like you said, on display or getting used as some human skeleton in a classroom, like hung up like
that is a good question because I've always wondered that when I stare at a skeleton, even though they say it's a replica, but
well, a lot of them use actual. A lot of universities and schools use actual human skeletons because people donate their body to scientific research and stuff, and they'll use the skeletal remains of the body to actually frame up and use.
I'd be upset to be touched, once in a while by kids and just saying, making a mockery off my.
Exactly.
That's not cool.
No, that's not cool at all. I mean, unless you get a really wicked sense of humor, dark sense of humor,
that's I don't know, man.
I'd try and haunt my bones so some little kid comes up and tries to shake your hand, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, you'd kill some kids that way. They'd run out the window,
man. Oh my God. Yeah, I'd do something like that.
That would be cool.
Oh my God.
That would be payback, I think.
But the reported bone, like shadows darting between the bones, whispers in the darkness, and even full-bodied apparitions. Now, that's every ghost hunter's dream, is the full-body apparition,
Yeah.
to catch that on camera. I don't know. I've never watched any show or heard anybody that's actually caught a full-body apparition.
Oh,
I've heard
no.
people say they've seen them,
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
but I don't know I've ever seen one that's been captured on camera. I can't think of
I
it.
can't recall any.
You get wisps or outlines or shadows, but never like a full body apparition of a spirit. Because I think if somebody caught that, then that would be that game over for us.
Yeah.
We've now proven the existence of the supernatural, of the paranormal.
Wait, they do have some recorded images, right? I mean, like spirits walking in the graveyard. Aren't those full or?
Well, it's how you would define a full body apparition, where you can see clear definition.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Of legs.
Yeah, not from a distance, but
you would, even at a distance, you would see them as a full body shape. You might identify them not as human because you might be able to see through them or whatever.
Yeah.
And they might be transparent or glowing or have an essence around them, an energy around them or whatever. But you would still
recognize them as a human. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you would still recognize it as a human shape,
limbs,
a human form. You would
yeah.
see the arms, you would see the head, you would see the eye sockets and the nose and the mouth. All of those things would have to be present for it to be considered a full body apparition.
I wonder if it can get captured. Oh, I bit my tongue. I wonder if it can get captured because, first of all, you got to focus to where it's at in the space, right?
Yep.
If a camera can't focus, let's say it's like 20 feet away or maybe 5 feet away, let's say, and the camera's going straight to the whatever it can focus on, it'll totally miss that. Right? I mean, I wonder if any camera can actually capture a full apparition.
Yeah.
Because it being too transparent.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the closest thing I've ever seen on TV for something like a full body apparition was a clip where there was a couple of guys in a graveyard were doing a paranormal investigation in a graveyard, and beside one of the mausoleums, they seen a shadow figure, but you actually seen the legs moving.
Oh wow!
You just didn't. They were too far away to be able to see any facial features or anything.
Yeah.
But it was so clearly the outline of a person. They were too far away to see facial features or anything where you could say, no, that was definitely a full body apparition. But it was, from how it looked on camera, it looked like it was someone standing there and seen them watching them.
I think I might have seen
took off, started walking. And they reacted to it. The investigators seen it starting to move and reacted to it. And they were like, oh, look, it's moving. And
they came out of that mausoleum, right?
Yeah.
I think I've seen that one. Yeah.
And walked around the wall.
Yeah.
And you could see the shadow of it, like I said, and see the legs moving.
Yeah.
As it walked, but it was just too far away to see any facial features or anything really that you could definitively at that point say, okay, yeah, it was a full body apparition. Because there's all sorts of anomalies it could be. It could have been a reflection of a shadow from somewhere else. Because there's all sorts of weird things that happen in nature where, and I can't remember what they call it, but there's a phenomenon where at dusk, if you stand say on a beach at dusk and you're looking off into the horizon as the sun sets, where all of a sudden reflections
like a mirage
of cities will appear.
Yeah.
And it's because of the reflection of the sunlight at different angles, and it causes a mirage, it causes a reflection.
Yeah, it's like a mirror image of
and
whatever.
It's like a mirror image, and these have been actually recorded throughout time and been captured on photograph and stuff where these mirages appear.
It's amazing.
And it looks like a city in the clouds.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
To you, you could think heaven just appeared to you.
Yeah.
If you're a really religious person, you would think the heavens just opened up and appeared to you. But really what it is just a reflection from the sun of a city that's being projected into the sky on the horizon as the sun sets.
I think they had a breakdown on how that effect actually happens, but
I can't recall exactly the mechanism, but I know that it was a fact, and that they actually are able to prove what it is.
Yeah,
Because
because I think they had the building at a certain at the where it would be, and then they showed where the clouds and the what is it, humidity? I'm not the humidity, but the fog,
yeah,
and it caused that fracture. You know, the light to just
yeah.
create that image.
There was
And
another.
it's exactly what that that
There was
city looked
another
like.
one I seen where there was a woman up on a mountain. She had a mountain climber,
Oh,
and she
that's
climbed
scary.
up this big mountain, and she was above the cloud base or level with the cloud base, and she was taking a video,
Yeah.
and she caught the reflection of a person in the clouds, and you could see the person moving around and doing different movements and different things
Yeah.
in the cloud. And this woman was like, "That's not my reflection." And she turned the camera to herself, and she's like, "That's not my reflection." And the thing was moving around and stuff, and she's standing perfectly still.
Yeah.
Now, what they proved it to be was that same phenomena. It was a reflection
Of someone else.
someone on the ground that had been projected into the cloud.
Yeah, because the cloud is like a huge screen.
Yeah, exactly. And the light hits it at the right angle, bounces off the ground, reflects up into the crowd and the cloud, and before you know it, your image is projected onto this cloud screen.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is, a screen. That's pretty cool, though. I mean, that's trick of the eye, and it's very compelling. And people might, see that as something godly, back in the day.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And like we said, the Mammoth Cave system in Kentucky, that you mentioned in that segment, Roman, I would love to explore that one. That's the largest cave system in the world, and we have it right here in the United States, in Kentucky. So that would be something, because if there's anything going to live underground, it's going to be in a place like that, the largest cave system in the world. If you don't find old things living underground somewhere like that, you're probably not going to find them anywhere.
Does the public have access to that? I mean,
yeah, they're
really?
they're walkable trails, and I'm sure there's areas where you can.
Yeah, because if it goes pretty deep, how can you find your way back
I'm sure
out?
there's probably like signpost trails where you have to, and then tunnels blocked off because, like you said, if you went off on a tangent, you get lost and stuff.
Well, that's what we're gonna do, though, right? Jump off.
That's what we want to do. Just throw ourselves down some tunnel somewhere and keep walking.
Why not? We got GPS. No,
I don't think it works.
no, I don't think so either. Signals would be bad.
Signal would be terrible.
I would be the one to kill us.
Right. Thanks, Roman.
We'll be ghosts.
Yeah. But in the cave network in Kentucky, people have heard footsteps, laughter, and voices when no one's present. Some even report being touched in the dark.
Yeah.
And that would freak me out, being touched. It's one thing hearing voices and stuff, or feeling something, or hearing footsteps.
Yeah.
There's two things that I'd be like, I'm out of here. And that would be if I get touched, if something actually like I felt my clothing getting pulled, which I've seen happen to people.
But you never ever gotten that feeling?
No, I've never had that feeling where I felt like my clothes have been pulled.
Oh, wow. I had that in your house.
Yeah, you had that where you thought my flag hit you. Yeah. And my flag was nowhere near you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting touched in the dark is just a big no-no for me. And the other one is that sensation, and I've seen it on TV before, where you hear someone running at you, not footsteps walking towards you, but you hear someone running towards you.
Yeah. No, that sounds kind of.
I've seen that on TV a couple of different places where that's happened to investigators, and the investigators always just been like, "Whoa, out of here!"
That would freak. I wouldn't even know how to react to something that's you can't see, that just
running. You hear running towards you, getting closer and closer and closer. And
fast
you're just,
pace.
I mean, you would just freak out. I mean, the fight or flight response would kick in a big way, and I think you would just turn and
you're gonna flight, because how would you fight something you can't see, and it's all of a sudden it's coming. It's like, I wouldn't want to wait for something.
No, I wouldn't be waiting around if I heard something running at me. I'd be like, no.
That's a strange one. I don't know how I would really react to that.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we're going to go on to segment 3. So modern theories and the paranormal below. So what's happening here? Are these experiences just tricks of acoustics? echoes in stone, or are they something deeper? The psychologists suggest that darkness, isolation, and the damp stillness of underground spaces prime our minds for fear. But paranormal investigators, myself included, cannot ignore the reports of clear EVPs, moving shadows, and even photographs of figures where no living soul was present. Now, there's also the theory of stone tape phenomena, which we touched on a little earlier.
Yeah.
That certain locations, particularly caves and underground chambers, act like natural recording devices. They act like a natural VCR. They may somehow capture and replay moments of intense emotion, tragedy, or death. Could the earth itself be a library of spirits, replaying fragments of history through sound and vision? Interesting.
Yeah.
But we've talked about the stone tape theory a little bit, so we'll dive deeper into that, and it'd be interesting if you've got any cases, if you're watching and you've came across any cases of the stone tape theory, then please, again, sign up at solanoparanormal.com for your free account and send us a message and tell us your story, because we'd love to hear it. We'd absolutely love to hear it.
Oh, yeah.
We want to know how this affected you, what you seen, what made you think it was the stone tape theory, what made you think it was a replay of an event rather than an actual spirit, an intelligent spirit. What gave that away to you? So send your stories into us at solanoparanormal.com. We'd love to hear them. But this, like they're saying, psychologists suggest the darkness and isolation and damp stillness in underground spaces prime our minds for fear. That's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
You can't deny that if you go into it. That's why, as paranormal investigators, especially me as a lead investigator, I'll put my investigators into fearful positions when we're doing an investigation, because I want them to sense that fear. I want their fear factor to rise.
Yeah.
I want them charged. I want them primed for receiving paranormal information.
Yeah.
I want their senses heightened. I want them on super alert.
Yeah.
You know, that, so I'll send them into places where it's dark, or maybe I'll lock them in a closet with a you know, a camera or a EVP recorder or something.
I do it.
Yeah. But you want to do it to the ones that are going to be really scared of it.
Oh, no, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Lock them in closets
to get more
and
of
stuff, to get
energy.
more fear,
yeah,
and more.
Yeah.
You might not be as afraid and
Yeah.
stuff. So more afraid, Roman. Build out that
Who
fear.
knows? Behind the door, maybe I am afraid.
Once you get locked in the room, it could all change all their bravado.
Like,
It's
change
like,
my mind.
No, change my mind. Let me out. Let me out.
This is all I came here for.
Yeah. So it's like anywhere, the stone tape theory, anywhere where there's like a building and stone and built of stone, they even say wood and other materials.
We're not talking about limestone either, right? We're just talking about any
stone.
Yeah, okay.
Any stone. Limestone is known for being very porous
Holding
and
conductive.
it can
Conductive, right?
very conductive like that.
Yeah.
So absolutely, limestone would be one of the main ones that you would look for to experience a playback of the stone tape theory event.
All right.
But all materials, I think, are porous and absorbable to energy to a certain degree.
Yeah. Well, everything is made out of energy, right?
Well, everything is energy.
Vibrating.
We're vibrating.
Yeah.
I mean, like the story, like I explained to you about the thing about if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's around to hear it make a sound, does it make a sound?
Yeah.
And the answer is no. I'll explain that again to other people a little later. But the answer is a definitive no, in my opinion. No, there is no sound. Just like there is no sound, there is no sight. Our eyes are programmed at a certain flicker rate, basically.
Yeah.
So we only see a certain range of things in our visual spectrum.
Yes.
If we seen everything, we'd probably pass out from a heart attack and die. If we seen everything in its true form.
Yeah.
Because what is everything? like this microphone, all it is a bunch of atoms compressed tightly that are vibrating, molecules that are vibrating tightly together, and it forms what appears to us because of our flicker rate to be a solid object.
Yeah.
It's only because of how we perceive it that we see it as a solid object.
Yeah.
So it's not until we observe something that it becomes solid.
Yeah.
Because until then, all it is a bunch of random molecules vibrating at a certain speed that we don't perceive.
Understand.
You bring another animal into the equation who maybe have a different setup with their eyes, can see the world in a different way.
Yeah.
They can maybe see all those things that we can't see. And I'm sure there's all sorts of varieties of animals in the world that have eyes. Think like bees who have like 8 eyes or something. You know, I mean, they see the world in this whole different way. They don't see the world the way we see the world. They don't see things the way we see things.
Yeah.
You know, so their world is completely different to them.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's only based on your flicker rate of your eyes, just like it's based on the tuning of your ear.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's dive into it. So like I had explained to Roman, because Roman we talked about this question: if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? And the answer is no. And the reason the answer is no is quite simple. Our ears, just like I was talking about our eyes, are programmed to receive at a certain frequency. Now, you got to ask yourself, what is sound? Sound is a human word for compressed airwaves.
Yeah.
All sound is compressed air. On its own, all it is compressed air.
Yeah,
there's no noise. There's no sound. Yeah. It needs a receptor to turn it into sound.
Yeah.
So it needs an ear, whether it be a human ear or an animal ear or something, but it needs a receptor. Yeah. In other words, an ear to tune that sound in. Now, you can have mechanical ears. Yeah. You can have mechanical equipment that picks up noise. But all they're doing is the same thing as our ear does, is taking compressed airwaves, shoving it down our ear canal, shoving it into our brain. Our brain processes it and turns it into noise.
Yeah.
Without that, there is no sound. So the answer to the question, if a tree falls in the forest and there's nothing around to hear it make a sound, does it make a sound, is no.
Yeah. Well, a good example of is a deaf person standing there and sees a tree.
Yeah.
You won't hear a sound.
You won't hear a sound. Yeah. There's no sound to a deaf person because their receiver doesn't function.
Yeah.
Now, if the whole world was deaf and we only operated on sight, we wouldn't even have a word called sound.
No.
We would never have invented the word called sound.
Yeah.
Because we'd never have experienced it. Just like there's all these things we don't experience with our eyesight because you only see a certain flicker rate.
Yeah.
You button the microphone again, Roman.
I'm moving it a little closer so it could be.
So, I mean, that's a great theory. But like we said, I can't ignore you can take all the darkness and isolation theories of psychologists into account all you want. But you cannot dispute the reports that you get of clear EVPs, moving shadows, and even photographs of figures and cave systems and things like that.
EVPs are kind of tricky because, dripping water can actually make it sound like there's a symbol. Well, I can't even think of the word. Syllable.
Yeah.
A syllable is being pronounced. So,
well, that comes back to that phenomena we were...
Pareidolia.
Yeah. And that phenomena again, where you hear words or noise or music and white noise or in other sounds,
and the brain just
the
brain just makes it,
and the brain because the brain, everything it hears and sees, the brain's scrambling to make sense of.
Yeah, for sure.
Because imagine what we do if we walked out our front door one day and we seen some animal that just doesn't exist.
Yeah, like we'd never seen before.
I'd never seen before. How would we describe it? How would we identify it?
We'll try to find something similar, right?
Our brain would be scrambling to identify it, to find something. Is it a cat? Is it a dog? Is it a horse? Is it
for sure. Yeah.
I mean, what is it exactly? And we'd be rushing it, and our brain does that all the time, every minute of the day.
To make it more easier and simpler, right?
Exactly, my friend. All right. But anyway, so the stone tape theory is a huge one in paranormal investigations because we can get so much evidence. And intelligent responses from spirits are always preferred because
Yeah.
you're getting a direct response to an answer, a question you ask. But I don't find residual energies or residual hauntings any less fearful or important or whatever you want to call it. Because to me, you can learn a lot from a residual haunting if you see a replay from the stone tape theory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're not only taking, like, for example, if you're talking to a spirit who's there in the
Okay.
moment, intelligently talking to you,
Okay.
that spirit can lie. That spirit
Oh, for sure.
can tell you lies. Doesn't need to be telling you the truth. That spirit can be leading you towards its own goals
Yeah.
or whatever it wants. A replay of a residual energy is fact because you're seeing the replay or feeling the energy of the actual moment from
Oh, I
that.
got you what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's fact. You can't dispute it.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's watching like you've recorded it and watching it back. You can say, no, that definitely happened because there's video of it.
Yeah.
With a residual haunting, that's the same thing. When the playback happens, when the environmental factors are just right and the playback happens, you can very much turn around and say, well, that happened because I just
You
seen
saw it.
I
Yeah.
just saw the playback
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it may be, or felt the residual energy of it. Whereas, you know, if you're getting an intelligent response, that intelligent spirit can be leading you towards its own goals, its own purposes,
Yeah.
its own needs. Now, yes, it's intelligent responding to you, so you can say, well, that's a real ghost, you know,
Yeah.
a real spirit. You can identify it as that. But like any other human being that lived, they might have their own agenda.
Yeah. 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 You could lie and pretend it's someone's relative, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you hear of spirits doing that all the time, especially when people do the Ouija board.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
When people do the Ouija board, you'll often get spirits come through who are very friendly to begin with. They act like your best friend all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And they tell you where to find things you've lost for years. Like, you know, like you've lost a wedding ring years ago or something important to you, and they'll tell you where to find it, and you go look and it's there. And you're like, oh my God. You know, and then they reel you in and you know, prime you ready for taking you over.
You open up that door.
You've opened up that gateway,
Yeah.
and they're just priming you, getting you to use the Ouija board more and more and more, because the more you use it, the more they're sucking you into their world.
Yeah. You're kind of signing a contract.
Yeah, and you don't know what you're messing with.
No.
Ouija boards opens a doorway up that you have no idea who you're letting in.
Yeah.
No idea. It's dangerous. Never to be done alone. Absolutely, under any circumstances.
I just can't believe it's sold as a toy.
Yeah, can you believe it? It's sold as a normal toy, like a novelty toy,
like Monopoly.
Yeah, like Monopoly or something. Here's a Ouija board.
Yeah.
Here's a spirit board.
Have at it.
Yeah, and it's just ridiculous.
That's insane.
Yeah. I'm not going to mess with stuff like that. That's for sure. I had done a Ouija board once when I was younger. I told you about that story, but that taught me enough to teach me that I don't want to ever get through that again. Anyway, all right, Roman.
That's you. Case study.
You want to do segment 4?
It's a case study. You want to do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
All right. Case study and listener accounts. One of the most chilling investigation was an old wine cellar in Northern California. The air was heavy, the temperature dropped, and as we asked questions in the dark, our recorders captured a whisper, "Still here." We've also heard accounts from cavers, people who spent their lives exploring the depth of the earth, who swear they encountered more than just rocks and silence, stories of phantom hands pulling at ropes, disembodied screams, and glowing eyes watching from the dark. We share these stories. We're not just telling ghost tales. We're acknowledging that humans everywhere across every generation have felt watched when descending into the earth.
Yeah. All right. Cavers get into the caves and stuff. There's been they've come up with a lot of stuff And like it's one of those things we spoke about when you're some of the best paranormal evidence you can collect happens when you're not looking for it.
Yeah.
And you'll have cavers who are videoing, taking video, not to try and capture paranormal, just because they're videoing their adventures.
Their adventure, yeah.
And stuff. And then all of a sudden they'll catch maybe the glow of a lantern, a cave lantern, a miner's lantern,
Something that's
off in the
not
distance.
supposed to be there. Right?
Something that, it's not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Or they hear disembodied voices or screaming or chanting or stuff. There's all sorts of reports of all of these things underground.
Would the legend of that will-o-wisp be part of that? You know how
will-o-the-wisp.
Yeah.
Is that a real legend or something?
It is. It's supposed to be something that beckons you into the dark, into the tunnel, into wherever.
Yeah, they appear in the woods, don't they? As a light,
Yeah.
And then they kind of wisp away.
Yeah, and you think it's someone that you
think they're trying to beckon you to follow.
Well,
them
you think if you're looking for someone for help, you see this lantern, or what you think is a lantern by someone, you run towards it because you think you're going to get help from someone.
Yep.
And it just keeps luring you
deeper and deeper into the cave system or whatever.
That's what I think the cave system can be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the wisp is probably a spirit of the same nature. I mean,
interesting. That maybe be something we need to talk about more on another podcast.
Yeah.
That kind of phenomenon of spiritual phenomenon
beckoning you
from the forests and stuff like that. Because there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the forest, a lot of entities and stuff like the wisps, and there's another one I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head as well, and folklore. But we should definitely do a podcast on that one time.
Yeah,
for sure.
That would be a good thing for our new member who's a witch, right? Because it's nature.
Absolutely. It's all about nature and the environment and stuff like that.
She can chime in on that one.
Absolutely. But can you imagine being a rock climber or something in one of these caves and something pulling at your rope? Dude. Again, I'd be like, oh no, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah. Dude, dude.
No. I'd rather go back to jumping out of perfectly good airplanes for a living than do that.
Yeah, and you think about it, the cave is just one tunnel. If something's happening to you in the middle of the tunnel, who's to say something's waiting for you on the other side? It's not like an open area where you can run anywhere.
No, exactly.
No, man.
No.
Yeah, no.
But it's like we said, I mean, every generation and across every culture, they've always had this feeling of being watched when descending into the earth. And not just when we're descending into the earth. We've reported that feeling, and we touched on this last week as well, that feeling of being watched.
Yeah.
How you can be walking down the street at night and all of a sudden the hairs in the back of your neck start standing up and someone's watching you. You know you're being watched from somewhere. It's a different feeling altogether. The energy changes and you become hyper aware, hyper vigilant.
Yeah.
And you're so aware of your surroundings. And that just adds to that feeling that you're being watched.
Yeah. And it's kind of weird because it's not paranoia.
It's not just paranoia.
Yeah.
You know for a fact you're being stalked. You're being watched by something.
It's a different feeling.
Yeah. And you're doing all you can to stay in light, to stay under street lights and get to your destination as quickly as possible and stuff, because if you stay out in those streets, you're going to get hunted down.
Something's going to happen,
something's coming for you.
For sure.
Just like we spoke about last week, like deer and gazelle. They're sitting there chewing their grass, like, and the next minute they're like,
yeah.
What's going on? They sense something. They sense that change in the energy, that sense change in the environment, and they're like hyper vigilant. All of a sudden, they start to move away slowly, not fast, because they know if they run fast, that triggers it triggers the attack response from the animals that's stalking it. So they start backing away as if nothing's wrong with. Oh, nothing to see here. Just going to go over here.
Pretty smart of them, though.
Pretty smart. But they've learned that over generations and generations.
And I think we've learned from them, right? Because a lot of the times it's like, don't move fast.
Yeah.
Just back off slowly.
Back up slowly. No sudden moves. Nobody moves. Nobody gets hurt.
Because that wouldn't be the first thing we would do, right? We would be the opposite. You see ya.
Yeah, well, with me, I know for a fact if something super paranormal happened to me, like I heard something running at me, like we were talking about earlier or something like that, I'd be like out of there. I wouldn't be waiting around to film it or something. I'd drop the camera probably and turn around and run.
That's crazy.
You know, maybe throw somebody else in my path so they get taken down first. But you're out, Roman. If you see me running, you better get out my way, or else I'm tossing you in my path.
Be the bait. Come on,
you can be the bait.
Come on, man.
All right. Anyway, closing thoughts. So, what do you think? Are the spirits below simply echoes of our fear of the dark, or something very real, waiting for us where the sunlight never reaches? For me, the evidence continues to mount. EVP recordings, shadows caught on camera, and personal experiences too vivid to ignore. And if history has taught us anything, it's that our ancestors may have known far more than we give them credit for.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Now, I want to thank everyone for joining us. On behalf of Roman and myself, it's been a great episode this week. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And want you to come back next week and join us again for episode 6. Now, next week, we're moving from the depths of the earth to the echoes of the airwaves. Episode 6 is all about ghostly voices on tape.
Nice.
The mystery of EVPs. We'll break down the most compelling recordings ever captured, the technology behind them, and what they might mean. Until then, from Roman and I, thank you very much for joining me tonight, Roman.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right. And until then, keep your lights low, your recorders on, and your mind open. Because the paranormal doesn't wait for permission. It finds us in the silence, the shadows, and sometimes from below. All right, everybody. From Roman and myself, good night.